Welcome to the Cowboys Report. Tom Downey here. Once again, mailbag time from Empire We Are. He says the Belichick New England model. While cutthroat and ruthless, you can't argue with the results. Patriots would have replaced Brady in a heartbeat if he didn't produce. Jones should have learned from Kraft. Be loyal to players only as long as they produce. Winning, not marketing, the only metric. I think for the most part, NFL teams are pretty good about being cutthroat and being ruthless. NFL cuts players all the time. No one gets upset about it because winning should be the only metric. For Jerry, they sometimes feel like a marketing team that happens to play football and not a football team that markets, you know? That last line is the one that stands out to me, Empire. Thank you very much for your super chat. Skeptical Fan has his score prediction. He says 41-13 Cowboys. I would be a happy camper. It'd be fun to have that game be so out of hand, the Dallas Cowboys take care of business. So I hope you are right. I'm not going to go. I did not go that extreme on the super chat or on the score prediction, but I do think the Cowboys should win. I already took them to cover. $5 from William Cook. Says, I was kind of waiting for this to happen. Not necessarily to Bland, but some injury would happen. I don't think we will ever see Bland and Diggs on the same field for more than a couple of games. I'm very tired of the practice injuries. Like how does that keep happening to this team? It's not unique to Dallas. It happens across the NFL. Doesn't mean it's good or acceptable. I'm annoyed by it. I can't stand how the Bland, even go back to Bland, Lewis, Diggs trio, they couldn't keep two of them on the field at the exact same time, let alone all three. I think Diggs and Bland have played like 4 games or something together the past 2 seasons. If Diggs is healthy, Bland gets hurt. Bland's healthy, Diggs get hurt. It's just annoying and stupid and dumb, and I'm tired of it. It continues to add evidence to the theory that Jerry Jones sold his soul to get some championships and is now paying it. It feels like they're cursed, which I'm sure is how a lot of teams who haven't won a championship in a while feel. Do you think, this is just a fun, not fun or lighthearted, but not serious, put it that way, poll, are the Cowboys cursed? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show, Y or N. From Steven, if we release Mazi, does that help us in signing Clowney? My answer obviously is not really. You have a roster spot open already. So you don't need to cut Mazi Smith to make room for Jadeveon Clowney. You have the spot available. Money-wise, it does technically save you some cash, but that's only if he gets claimed. Mazi Smith's salaries this year and next year are already fully guaranteed. You cut him right now, and no one picks him up and he stays unsigned, you actually lose money. Now, if a team claims him, it does save you some money. I don't know if there's any offset language in his contract, but if he goes unclaimed and then signs somewhere for the vet minimum, you're still not really saving anything. So it actually just cuts into your salary with the way the deal is set up. You trade him, it does make it easier, sure, but I don't think there's any correlation. Like, you can cut Mazi if you want because he can't get on the field, okay. Money does not help you. Have the roster spot. Doesn't help you. Doesn't hurt you either, though. Like, just kind of, they're two separate paths, thoughts. TG collects any free agent corners other than Gilmore that we can sign. I mean, go to that list for Aiden of the top free agent corners. Gilmore has familiarity with the scheme. He's an obvious name. I understand why everyone mentions him. He doesn't help me at nickel corner, though. He's an outside guy. Asante Samuel Jr., big name, not healthy. He's not going to be even potentially cleared until October, coming off the neck surgery, the spinal fusion, I should say, which is, don't like hearing that as a football player. Kendall Fuller, Mike Hilton, inside, outside for Fuller, nickel for Hilton. Those two names stand out for me. As of filming, Mike Hilton had a workout with the Eagles earlier this week, but hasn't signed yet and may or may not sign. Also had a visit with the Colts. He can run support, but he's not a good coverage player anymore. Like, the Bengals at times hold off fields on third downs, which is like unheard of for an early down nickel. That's why he's available, essentially. Kendall Fuller is kind of aging, the same guy who was in his prime. So there are options, just might not mean that they're good options. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it is good to be right. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn those takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. Cowboy-centric one for you. Brandon Aubrey more than 2.5 point after attempts made. So 3 TDs, and the alien delivers on the extra points. CeeDee Lamb more than receiving yards. And the max discount, Travis Kelce, a half receiving yard. That's it. A half. Put it in your lineup. It's a no-brainer. Go download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play that first $5 lineup. The Lunatic, how many plays versus Filthy was Sanborn the green dot? Tough for me to go back and look exactly of like how many was he the green dot in terms of who was out there. I don't think Kenneth Murray came off the field in that game. I'm pretty sure, I'm double checking right now. I'm pretty sure he was out there for every snap. So I think he was the green dot for all of them. Now, Sanborn did some green dot stuff in the preseason, so he has the ability to do it. I'm down to try that. I don't think Murray played that great, but I think it was Murray the entire time in week 1, which, noteworthy. Trey Fax hates on the videos. Question to you is, who would start with Bland being out? Zion or Steward, or do you need to go sign Gilmore? Gilmore is an outside corner. Doesn't help me. Plus, he's not going to be able to play in week 1. The ramp-up time is too short. I think it's probably Reddy Steward first crack. Wouldn't be shocked if we saw Zion Childress either. You could even have a rotation early in the game, depending on how they're playing. It's a pretty big concern going into week 2. $10 from William Cook says, thanks for the Bland jersey. You are welcome, William. But it came the same day he was injured. Kind of frustrating, sad how that happens. I would trade it for a fully healthy team for the season. Wouldn't we all? I blame myself for that one. We do the signed DaRon Bland jersey giveaway, and then he gets hurt. We're doing Jason Witten this week, so hopefully nothing bad, knock on wood, can happen on that front. From Kai, I don't know how to say it on there. CKO, I don't know. Apologies. Kenneth Walker trade. You could call. He wasn't great in week 1. Seems like he's the 1B to the 1A of Zach Charbonnet. Charbonnet was better. Offensive line, scheme stuff, whatever. Obviously an impact there. Seattle doesn't have much up behind him, though. They kind of just might want to ride with 2. But if Seattle can't win games, that is definitely a name to monitor as the trade deadline approaches. So name a player who you want the Dallas Cowboys to trade for. Let me know in the comments section of today's show who is a player you want the Dallas Cowboys to go out and trade for. $5 from Angel Alexander. Appreciate that, Angel. It says, or Angel, however you pronounce it. Agree on the Liufau front. Given it's the Giants, what do we need to see to believe in the Cowboys being a contender, excluding we need to see more? I'll say this. Like, a blowout makes us feel better about it, right? I don't think that there's really anything this Cowboys team can do against the Giants to say, see, they're a contender. Because the counteract here is they just might be bad. Like, the Giants might just be a bad football team. And contenders beat up on bad football teams, but so do, like, low-end playoff teams. So I don't know if there's really anything the Cowboys can do to make me think they're a true contender against the Giants. That's going to come later in the season when the schedule gets very, very tough. Mr. Shazam, 808. Think about having our docs check out Christian Wilkins, seeing how far he is coming back and signing him. I think there's so much unknown with Wilkins. Like, part of me thinks the reason that no team has brought him in for a medical checkup is because his camp does not want the medical checkup yet. My gut feeling here is the medical red flags are still there, so there's no point in him going to visit with a team because he's still technically getting paid by the Raiders for the time being. Grievance is pending there. no one's going to pay him big money when he's hurt. So it's kind of just a waiting game for Christian Wilkins. Once he's actually healthy, sure, bring him in. Check it out. I do think adding Kenny Clark helps mitigate that as a potential need. Fade City Parlay. What will happen if Dallas loses? I will melt down. I will crash out. As I said on social media, will post ass on the timeline. I expect to beat the Giants every single season. If they don't, I'm disappointed. I'll be mad, frankly. They should take care of business pretty easily. Give me your score predictions for the Cowboys and the Giants. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Give me those score predictions between the Cowboys and the Giants. Daniel M. When I first heard the news on Bland hurting his foot, I was frustrated. And now with him out, I'm struggling to see how Steward or Childress play it at nickel. Well, if you mean struggling of seeing them play well, it's fair. We haven't seen them in a real game. Childress had a good preseason, good camp. Steward was good for the Vikings in the preseason. But if you mean struggling to see how they play, period, they have to play. There's nobody else available. They're kind of out of options at that point. So that is a huge concern for me. If I were the Giants, I would line up Malik Neighbors every single snap in the nickel. Or in the slot. And I'd say zone bracket him if you can. That's what I would do every snap and see if they give you some man reps. I would challenge that matchup every snap. Carson, who will have the most sacks among all the edge rushers? I'll go Dante Fowler. I think in the end, Dante Fowler gets going and finishes with maybe not quite 10 sacks, but it'll be, I think, a pretty heavy committee sack-based approach. But I think as the veteran, he'll get going sooner than an Ezra who might get going kind of mid-late part of the season. If you want your questions featured on a Cowboys mailbag, sub now and do not miss out on any of our coverage here on the Cowboys Report. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Daniel, how do you think the Clowney visit went? What are your thoughts? I think we'll have to wait and see. I don't think they're going to sign him this week. Famous last words. I guess I'll just cut it out. I'll cut it out of the mailbag if they sign him on Saturday before this goes out. Is what I'll do. Act like it never happened. I wouldn't rule out revisiting later. Let's see how the game goes on Sunday. But I just think that's kind of a wait and see approach. I wonder what the money looks like. I don't think it's about being in shape or schematic fit or the player. I bet it comes down to money. I don't know what Clowney wants. Don't know what the Cowboys were willing to offer. So we'll wait and see.